Last night, I got a notification on my phone from Twitter, and it was Deviation Games. Deviation Games being the studio that was founded by Jason Blundell and Dave Anthony. Now, these two were very big heads in the Treyarch community, but Jason Blundell especially because he was the face, the man that personified Call of Duty zombies, or at least for Treyarch, as we knew it. Jason Blundell would speak out about things, you know, like the development and the secrets of the story, and he would really be involved with the community, and he was also just a really talented guy from his many years at Treyarch, being the co-studio head and game director and playing a really big role in the zombies field. Until suddenly, after BO4, he left, and now I looked at this tweet. The whole point of Deviation Games, when it was made by the two, is that they didn't want to be creatively tied down to Activision, throwing out these extremely unrealistic deadlines and being way too in control of their creative decisions. So they deviated from that and made their own game development studio called Deviation Games. They even hired JC Backfire, which you definitely all know JC, as their community manager. And they then announced that there was this big AAA IP that they were making, and it was in partnership with Sony. That's big. That isn't something that happens with every game dev, especially a game development studio that has just been made. And when I say just been made, I mean in game dev time, I would say 2 years probably isn't that long. And then take into account that they haven't even published a game yet. So as far as the gaming landscape is concerned, they're a fresh studio. And if this is all sounding a little too hopeful for you all now, this is why I'm making the video. I got the notification for that tweet, and I thought that they were finally announcing their big new AAA IP. I thought this was it. I was excited, I can't lie. I eagerly opened the tweet to this. Deviation Games is announcing that Jason Blundell has left the studio. We appreciate the contributions Jason has made, and we wish him the best in his future endeavors. Deviation will continue to be led by CEO Dave Anthony, who also assumed the role of game director this past year and remains a guiding force as we look ahead. What? Like, what happened here? I was absolutely distraught about this. I'm gonna read the rest and then I'm just gonna talk about this. So the next part says, we are excited to announce that Lewis Castle has joined Deviation Games as Senior Vice President of Development. A video game industry veteran with 2 Lifetime Achievement Awards, Lewis co-founded Westwood Studios, best known for creating the legendary Command & Conquer franchise. Lewis is joined by an incredible roster of industry veterans who recently joined the studio, including God of War alumni, God of War alumni Jonathan Hawkins and Dean Reimer, and Call of Duty Black Ops guru Tony Flame. This plethora of talent makes Deviation uniquely equipped to continue leading the ever-evolving games industry into the future, including with the continued development of our previously announced groundbreaking AAA original IP. What a weird tweet to see. Jason Blundell, the heart and soul of Deviation Games by the looks of it here, and Dave Anthony is too, but everybody knows Jason Blundell and they know the creative juices that this guy has. It feels like a lot of us since, I would say, the end of BO2 to BO3 onwards have been following this guy's journey, seeing where it goes, seeing how good his work is, the highs and the lows, all of it. And then when there's such an uplifting and heart-filled reason for making Deviation Games, about pushing the time constraints, the crunch, the creative strain that is put on developers aside and making this new thing, and it's something you can tell Jason has wanted to do here. To suddenly leave, it just feels really weird. I can't get over this. I can't wrap my head around it. He has left before they even announced what the AAA IP is, like what the game is that they're making. And it's one of those where the more you think about it, the less sense it makes. There's no reason given as to why Jason's left. It's just straight up, you know, he's gone. Guy's gone. Jason Blundell was in Deviation Games Studios one day, went out to get some milk or something and never came back. That is exactly what has happened here. Only such a Giga Chad could deviate from Deviation Games, and Jason Blundell, he is that Giga Chad. But in all seriousness though, this must really suck for a lot of the devs. And JC Backfire as well, someone who had that personal connection with Jason. I can imagine it's not not a pleasant experience. And I can imagine it hits just as hard because there's a lot of ex-Treyarch devs in Deviation Games. They deviated with Jason and Anthony. Blundell was really paving the way here for those ex-employees, and it seemed like it was going to be a better tomorrow for their own personal and creative well-beings. But luckily Dave Anthony is kind of taking charge now, and so I still think Deviation Games are going to do well, but now a lot of people's interest in Deviation Games because of Jason Blundell and how we have seen his magic and him at his peak performing his craft. We have seen it executed so well, and now that's gone. That input he would have had on this game is now gone, and I just can't help but feel a little negative about that. I'm not saying now that Jason has left, Deviation Games is in bad hands now. I actually think the opposite. I think Dave Anthony is probably going to do a good job, but now with Blundell gone, I don't think it's going to be as good. I'm not saying that they need Jason there either. I'm saying that without him and his magic touch to the projects he's done, like Black Ops 3 Zombies especially, I don't know how that's going to affect this new AAA game. He's always been a very mysterious man, so I guess let's talk about some reasons why he might have left. I think number one, and this one came to mind straight away, is maybe it was creative differences between him and Anthony. But to me, I don't really think someone would straight away, before they've even announced the game, they would just get up and leave, unless however the creative differences were that strong. But from what I've seen, and just from the passion I know that those two clearly have for Deviation Games and the faith that they have in it, they seem to have been very much trusting the process, and I just can't imagine those two having such disagreement that one of them, Jason Blundell of all people, would leave. Although I do think it's one of the more realistic reasons. Stuff like this just happens with game development. Not that I'm a game dev, but it's just from what I've seen in the past. Okay, so I'm recording this video right now the day after that tweet got released. Like, I went to bed after I saw it, and now Deviation Games have tweeted again, and it's just this. It's this picture of like some sort of dev team bonding thing. A design summit bringing the entire development team together from around the globe. They tweeted this straight after their other tweet. Actually, it's an hour's difference when I'm looking at it now. So the original tweet saying that Jason left was tweeted 15 hours ago, and now this one is 14 hours ago. I don't know if that's some sort of damage control to try and breeze past and not give any additional comments on Jason leaving, because obviously this is such a big gut punch to everyone, I think, and I don't think we're going to be getting a reason as to why Jason's gone anytime soon. They're not even letting this one sit here. They're just tweeting past it now so nonchalantly. I'm not saying that Deviation Games don't care that he's gone, because I can tell that they do. I just know that they would care about something like this, but I don't think this necessarily looks good for them with the way that they're now starting to tweet again, and they're rolling in after that big announcement was dropped. Another reason I think he left, and it's a bit outlandish, it's a bit wild, but hear me out, and I know that I'm not the first one to say this, so I'm not gonna act like it's my idea. Maybe, just maybe, Jason Blundell has been bought back into Treyarch. I'd say there's a small chance that this actually could be the case, but I'm more inclined not to believe it purely because of the fact that Jason Blundell left Treyarch to pursue his own creative dreams here and to feel fulfilled and make a project he's proud of, and made this whole thing based off of deviating from those horrible standards that have become so present in the gaming industry because of him deviating from Treyarch, only for him to go back before their game was even announced. It just doesn't seem like it would make much sense. It's obvious to me that his passion is still there, clearly. He made a whole game development studio to be able to make a good, fulfilling game. So for him to just go back to Treyarch, unless they have paid him a lot of money, I don't really think it'd be the case. But on the other hand, Zombies is in shambles right now. Treyarch are going to presumably have a year gap for 2024 to be able to work hard on their new COD game. Imagine bringing the biggest name in Zombies development back into the field. With the extra time and hopefully more assets and budget, it would do wonders for Call of Duty Zombies. So there is that perspective to look at it from, which seems plausible, but like I said, I think there's only a small chance of this being the case. But I don't want to rule it out entirely. And then there's the final thing I can think of, which is maybe he's just got some personal stuff going on. Albeit a good or bad reason for him leaving, maybe it's just something he feels like he needs to do, and maybe he can trust Dave Anthony and the rest of the team to do something good. He could be pursuing a new creative thing now, like he could be doing something different again, and maybe those future endeavors endeavors are going to be a project that he's going to start working on. Or maybe he just fell into the dark ether. I've got nothing else here. And if that's the case, we gotta get him out of there. The zombies community is shocked right now, and it seems like this was going to be the guiding light for us at Deviation Games to really be able to save the idea of COD Zombies, and maybe they could make their own interesting IP which is similar to it, and now it seems like that just isn't looking as promising anymore as it once was. And even if it wasn't some sort of COD Zombies competitor, I'm sure Blundell was wanting to do something that was gonna just slap really hard. I can't stress enough how the togetherness of the team at Deviation Games, it seemed to have felt so genuine to everyone there.
By the way, so how are you doing like your first like couple weeks at Deviation?
Like I feel like I already know everybody because everybody's so friendly and people are nice.
I get to work with some amazing people, and I'm not afraid to talk to them. Like I've seen like I can just walk up to Jason Blundell and be like, "Hi, I love the game. I want to talk to you," and he's there talking.
And to see a big part of that being Jason Blundell suddenly go, it feels kinda sad. I'm really hoping that nothing bad has happened to him, and it has been that bad that he's had to leave the dev team, because that would just be terrible news to hear. And if that is the case, then my heart does go out to him. I do hope that there is a good reason for this, and of course it looks so odd that Jason left before Deviation Games even announced what their new game was. Our boy JC Backfire has tweeted, "To be honest with you, I'm in the same boat as you, still processing it. Game development is wild, but I'm gonna keep doing my thing to help build something that will make the community proud. Love y'all." I am really happy for JC, and I'm glad that he's staying positive about this, and he's still following his dream and doing his thing. So with the way things are going right now, it seems as though that people are supportive of Jason Blundell leaving Deviation Games, but people are also equally confused and concerned as to what is gonna happen now and why this is. Maybe time will tell, or maybe it won't. We're actually in the dark here about this. But anyways, I'm gonna leave this video here today. If you enjoyed, be sure to smash the like button, comment your thoughts on Jason's departure. Why do you think he left? Let's discuss it in the comments. Subscribe to the channel if you aren't already, you won't regret it, and turn on the notification bell too to stay notified whenever I upload a video. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.